Hi, it's John from North Star Nursery, Garden and Home, your coastal gardener again. So we just found out we weren't recording with audio details. This is what happens when you have a low budget production. So I'm going to start over. So the table here is divided into two sections. This section is all low light plants. Low light being basically a room that you can't read in comfortably during the day without turning on a light. So, and then over on this side, these are all the bright light plants. Bright light plants are plants that require enough light that you can comfortably read during the day without turning on a light. That's how we gauge it. So I'm trying to remember. The other thing I was talking about was sun exposure in actual rooms. If you wanted to put a plant like a ficus, I was saying that ficus would do really well in a southern exposure or western exposure window, but they can't be plopped into that window in the middle of summer. If that happens, you're going to get a sunburn, much like when you get a sunburn, out on the beach, the parts that are covered are going to be white and the rest is going to be burned. Those leaves don't recover from that, so they will eventually dry and drop off, or you can remove them. So if you wanted to start a plant that would be in that southern or western exposure window, now is the time to do it. Also, right now happens to be our houseplant sale. So houseplants and indoor pottery are all 25% off. So it makes it a great time to do it. Next week, Rue and I are driving down to a houseplant broker in the Richmond area that really does beautiful, beautiful material. For the last many years, they have been supplying the office landscapers for the San Francisco area for years. And so they have just a plethora of suppliers that they pull from. The prices are a little higher, but the uniqueness is way up there, and the quality, they're really, really picky about their quality. So I wanted to just touch base on some of the plants here. For most of you, you're keenly aware of Monstera. And so we have that in 4-inch, 6-inch, and 8-inch. We have ZZ Palms this is currently in an 8-inch. We do have 6-inch and 4-inch also. This little guy, these came in really gorgeous. This is another form of philodendron, and I'm forgetting what it is. Hold on a second. Monstera andanosii, Swiss cheese. So it's in the Monstera family also. Loving this guy. This is Philodendron Brazil. This is a great creeper and spiller. Does very well in low light. And its parent, this is Philodendron cordatum. So this is where it started, and then they hybridized it to get that nice yellow variegation. Oh my God. Okay, so in the opening, you probably saw me without audio kind of going, oh my God. I love houseplants. Well, I love plants. And so it's kind of dangerous being an owner that loves everything he sells. This is Philodendron White Knight. Check out the variegation on these stems. So the really neat thing about this is that eventually it's just going to keep going up. And we have moss poles if you guys want to tie up your philodendrons, because they do develop larger leaves with support. So that's very important to remember. But this variegation is out of the park for me. This is another one that I really love. This is called White Princess. And so the variegation varies a lot from leaf to leaf. So you'll either have a lot of white or little speckling. but very, very fun. Oh, we have sold so many of these already. Hopefully we'll still have them. This is called Philodendron Ring of Fire. So one of the things I wanted to show you actually is sometimes plants come in with water spots. Oh my goodness, hold on just a second. I left my supplies off site. Very bad. Between the audio and me messing up, what are we going to do? This is wilt proof. And wilt proof is what we use as a leaf shine. And what I was going to say is that a lot of these plants sometimes come in looking kind of dull. And we don't have time or space to spray them all. But what I do is I spray a little bit of this onto a paper towel and then just gently apply it. You can spray the whole plant if you want to. I like to do this because it also takes all the grime off of the leaves, because sometimes there's a lot of dust. But look at the difference with that leaf and that leaf. Really, really nice. And especially if you're dealing with variegated plants, when you shine those leaves, man, everything comes alive. So that's wilt proof. Let's see. Oh, here's another one. This is White Wizard. So there's been a lot of hybridizing that's been happening in the last few years for philodendrons. I think just because COVID really brought out the houseplant geek in all of us. I already had it, but it definitely brought it out. And so they're just developing more and more stuff. This is one that's been around forever, but it's a great variegated plant. This is Spathiphyllum, and it's a variegated leaf with the small white flowers. Spathiphyllum are very forgiving in the sense that if you forget them and they dry out, they wilt a little bit, and then you can soak them and they regenerate. The only problem is, if you do that a lot, you end up with browning tips or browning edges. So my suggestion is when you buy a Spathiphyllum in this size container, go ahead and shift it up into a 6-inch. This is a 4-inch. When we jump in 2-inch increments. Always. That's how we do it. If you go too big, it can sometimes get waterlogged. So you want a fine line between plants sitting in water and plants having some oxygen on their roots. So that's Spathiphyllum. This big guy right here next to me, to my right, your left probably. This is a large scale Spathiphyllum. So I had a customer the other day who said, oh, my Spathiphyllum never got this big. So very important to know, Spathiphyllums come in a range of varieties. There's hundreds, if not thousands. And some are short, and some are big, and some are even bigger than this. There is a Spathiphyllum, I think it's called Sensation, and the leaves are about, I'd say 2 feet long and about a foot wide, dark, dark, dark green, more kind of columnar, almost like a Dieffenbachia, like this beauty. So not as full and lush, but very dramatic. Haven't been able to get those in a while, but that's really fun. This is Dieffenbachia Reflector. I have never liked Dieffenbachias. I just never have, but I have to say this one is screaming for me to take it home. Oh, another thing I wanted to bring up. For a lot of you that have wood stoves, if you have houseplants in the room with a wood stove, the wood stove, especially this time of year, because we're all freezing cold, so we're heating, that really zaps the moisture out of that room, which also zaps the moisture out of your houseplants. So you can do a few different things. Some people will put like a cast iron kettle on the wood stove so that they're always kind of getting some humidity out there. If you don't want to do that and you want to centralize your humidity, this is a down and dirty humidity tray. And basically what a humidity tray is a dish, a tray, a bowl, it doesn't matter, with rocks in it. And then I didn't fill it because I didn't want to spill everything. And then you fill the water up to the top of the rocks. You don't want, because what you're going to do is you're going to set your plant on top of that. You don't want the plant sitting in water. You just want it sitting right at the top. And what happens is as this evaporates, it kind of helps to humidify the surrounding area. These are areca palms. These guys are kind of the quintessential palm that has always been around. They do not want to dry out. Do not let them dry out. If they dry out, they end up with brown tips. They get thin. They don't like drying out. So keep it lightly moist at all times. Lightly moist feels like a well-wrung out sponge. So when you are feeling the soil top and it feels like a well-wrung out sponge, you can wait. I have a tendency to water once a week. And I try to do it on Thursdays. That's my day because it's my day off. Pick a day, whatever day that is, and go ahead and make that a regular scheduled thing. You may not need to water all of your houseplants that day, but that's the day that you check them. And if things need water, you water them. If they don't, you leave them alone. Because sometimes, like in our house, which is freezing cold, the moisture doesn't evaporate as quickly and the plants don't use it as fast. So sometimes you have to wait 2 weeks if your house tends to be cold in order to not have them sitting really, really wet and upset with you. Because basically what happens is when you have plants that are sitting in too much water, what happens is it's like holding your head underwater. It'll drown you. The roots need oxygen as much as they need moisture, so that combination is really, really important. Another plant I wanted to show you that came in gorgeous is this Kimberly Queen fern. This is not a Boston fern. Not a Boston fern. It is, as you can see, very, very upright. Okay, so it is never going to hang down. It's not going to spill. If we can find any Bostons, we will snag them and bring them in, but they haven't been available so far this season. We had some last year that came in really nice, and we will try to find more. This is Ficus Audrey. For those of you that do the ficus rubber leaf, kind of ficuses and you like those, this is a great plant. Gets very tall and has a nice simple leaf structure and kind of a silver stem. This is gorgeous. Bird's nest fern. Another one that does not want to dry out, does want bright light, no direct sun, loves a humidity tray because they don't like to dry out. Let's see. Oh, we also got some Kimberly Queens in 6-inch. So if you wanted to start smaller, you can. Oh, what is he doing over here? I put a philodendron in the wrong zone. This is Philodendron Macaulay's Finale. And so this philodendron is from a group that when the new foliage comes out, it's a different color. And so there's a few different ones, but this one, that color is gorgeous. So eventually these leaves, as they come down and the new leaves come up, they do turn green. But boy, look at that. That is just a stunner. This one does not climb up. It kind of fills out this way. It doesn't go up, up, up. Also, we have calatheas. For those of you that love the cuckoo leaf structure, the leaf color, these guys are really fun. We have some in 4-inch, we have them in 6-inch, and we have them in 8-inch possibly also. These guys are just so sweet. Pink polka dot. Bright light, does not want to dry out. If it starts to look rough, clear cut it to the pot and start fertilizing. It'll be fine. Also love, these came in really, really pretty. Cynea. So this is usually in a 4-inch pot, just one paddle. This has 3, really nice. Lots of pups coming off of the side. So you would have blooms for quite a few years if you kept it happy. This is another really fun fern. This is called Salaginella frosty. It almost looks like baby tears that has height. This is a mossy fern. It does not want to dry out, and so it responds very well to lots of moisture, but not to sit in water. Let's talk about tillandsias. So we got a bunch more in the other day, and we still have all of these really cuckoo blob house creatures. All of these guys are all 25% off too right now because of the houseplant sale. So are the tillandsias. We also have some Spanish moss with the sea urchin shells that we just got in. So if you're looking for something different, that's a great option. Also wanted to remind you guys, if you're planting, always use Sure Start, even on your houseplants. Very important. If you want to fertilize and you don't have any fertilizer, Maxi All-Purpose is the bomb. And this is what I use on everything, my orchids, my houseplants, all of it. Some people like water-soluble fertilizers. For those of you that like water-soluble, this is the seaweed extract. The nutrient formulation is a little bit lower on this, but it's very, very effective. And Rue really likes this. That's why we carry it. And then we have We the Wild. Sorry. We the Wild is a lovely brand that's really focused towards houseplants. So this is a liquid formula of fertilizer in concentrate form. They have a powdered form, much like the Sure Start, with lots of goodies in it. And then they also make a neem oil that has more than just neem oil. It actually has some nutrients in it. So it's a great way to, if your plant's upset with bugs, when you spray that, it'll help it kind of come out of its upsettedness. How's that for a term? This is so cute. This is a little, it's called string of turtles, or some people call it string of peace, because sometimes the leaf structure or the leaf pattern ends up showing up as a peace sign, but not so much here. But string of turtles, very fun. If you have any pests, aphids, scale, any of that, you can use the neem oil for anything that's a soft-bodied insect, aphids, trying to think of what other soft bodies. So this is good for aphids. This is good for, like, this is horticultural oil, which is more of a suffocant. And so you want to use this on things like mealybug, scale, anything that's kind of tricky to get rid of. And remember, you want to spray once a week for 3 weeks. You want to make sure that the plant is fully hydrated 24 hours before you spray. So if your watering day is Thursday, you would spray on Friday. I think that might be it. Sorry for the glitches in the beginning. We are open and we are stocked. Oh, if you want anything in the way of a big houseplant, please chime in and tell me what you're looking for, because when we go down on Tuesday, I could very well be your personal shopper. So I won't have a lot of ideas about pricing just yet, but I might be able to tell you that later. So if you need something specific, big plants, let me know. So that'll be it for today, and we will look forward to seeing you at the nursery.